Well, hi you guys. I'm back out in the woods, and I thought I would show you the tent this time in this video. That's it. I haven't put the fly on it yet. The fly's laying right there, as well as the mesh net for the top part, the little hammock that goes in it. But with these aluminum poles, it makes the tent so much stronger. And this entire tent only costs $22 at Walmart, and it comes with cheap fiberglass poles. And I ordered aluminum poles to replace and make this like a four-season tent. And it's very, very strong and rigid. Makes it very rigid. And everything just clips on, as you can see right there. It just clips over the poles. It's got an entire mesh roof on it, and then two separate mesh panels on either side. Actually only one on the other side because of the door, but the door also unzips. And then right here is where the extension cord can go in. And the reason why a lot of people don't like this feature is because, see there, bugs can get inside your tent. So what I could do is just put this on the sewing machine and sew this closed, because I don't need an extension cord to come into the tent, or I could sew Velcro on it and just Velcro it closed. That's one thing people don't like. This tent is supposed to be a 5x7, but it's not. It's actually smaller than that. I believe it's 7 feet long, but it's a lot smaller in person than it looked in videos when I saw this tent on videos and people setting it up. It's very easy to set up. I like the design of it. Another thing that people complained about is the zipper on the door. When you get to this area right here is where it gets really tight. So you have to use two hands to zip it up where it comes to these two different colored panels. Just because the way they sewed it and the design, you can unzip it with one hand, but if you go to zip it up, see how you'd need two hands to get the zipper to close? That was the biggest complaint on this tent. And then, as you can see, it's got a mesh window that you also can open and let down, so you have a window to see out of. See, this all just zips down. Let me zip it down on this side as well. Let the whole thing down, and then the window can just roll up. It just rolls up and you keep it inside this loop because it's got a toggle there, see? So you just roll it up and you got a nice vented window. Let's take a look at the inside. Now, the one thing that I don't like about the tent is that it does not have a bathtub style floor, meaning that the tarp floor doesn't come up the wall about anywhere from 4 to 6 inches like a lot of high-end tents do. The nylon and this tarp material just comes together at a floor seam all the way around, so you don't get that added protection from splashback when it rains. However, if you've got this on a nice ground tarp before you set up your tent, and then you put a fly over your tent like the one that you've seen that I made, water splashback on this won't be an issue. And I am 6 foot tall, and I can sit up in this tent no problem. If you can see there, that's how much room I've got over my head right there. That is a good 4.5, 5 inches that I've got over my head. So there is plenty of room in this tent to get dressed sitting up if you're 6 foot tall. Now, if I lay down and I put my head all the way to the end where it's touching, my hat is touching the material. I'll show you where my feet are at. There's my feet. So now if I just sit straight up, I've got at least 11 inches from the end of my feet to the end of the tent. So yes, this tent is just under 7 feet, if not exactly 7 feet. I don't have a tape measure with me, but yeah, it's a nice tent. So let's zip the door closed. See, right here, you guys, is where the material, because they put this reinforced material right here on the bend of the zipper, That's why, let me hold you between my knees and see if I can zip this. There we go. So you've got to have two hands to zip the tent closed. And then it's got the window that zips up on it. This zipper just goes up straight, and then this one just zips around to close the mesh panel of the door off. And I really like that. And I like that it's got all this mesh in the back. There's a look at the back of the tent. Now, on the sides, right here underneath the warning label, you've got these almost triangular pockets to put stuff in. See there? Triangular pockets. There's one there, and then there's this one in the back, right here. And it's got two different separate pockets. There's one there and a deeper one here. Well, actually, that passes all the way through, so you can store gear in there. That bag that is out there just hangs from this loop and this loop, and it just hangs right down to where you can put stuff in it. So you've got 1, 2, 3 pockets, because that one's outside. I haven't brought it in to bring it into the tent. But there's a look around. I'd have to say, you guys, that the stitching on this tent looks very good, and it's straight. It's dual stitched. Same thing around the windows with no excess material, and the stitching looks really good. Even around the doors, these zippers are nice, really nice, and it's got these weather flaps on them. So that's really nice. I'm up here in this flat spot of the campsite, and then it goes down a hill, and then there's that ravine all down there where all the streams are. So I'm up on a pretty high ridge right here. This is near that deer stand I was in. So yeah, you guys, this thing isn't completely rectangle straight. What it does is it goes out to a point right here, and then it tapers back to this corner. So it kind of goes out like a diamond, and then it narrows back in to where each end is the same width. You've got the same width. And I'll tell you what, for camping by myself in a tent, this is the perfect size tent. Nice flat spot right here too for sleeping. Now, water would come down this hill, so I'd have to take that into account if it were to storm. That's the bad thing about being on just a shelf. For a lack of a better term, it just comes down, goes flat, and then it drops off again. But it is a nice campsite. So I'm gonna head back outside, and I'm gonna put the fly on it and show you guys what the fly looks like.